Assalamualaikum Gambia. Ñu naan di leen ziar ci wàccuwaay mu la seen xarit seen doom coach di leen welcome to Jollof Football Taba YouTube channel di home of Gambian football ñëwaat nañ tey si beneen dimanche beneen teewaay di Jollof di Gambian football show am nañ suma gars yi ñu ngi ci waat di regulars boo fala booye ak seeni kaañ yi suñu future président bi di leen jaajëfal di leen ne buuba seeni asalaamaaleykum welcome buuba
waaw ok non dama doon jox suma xale bi cër ni wante mu yéen tela ma ne cee di la nuyu di la nuyu di la santa di dal di nuyu auditeurs itam ñu nga xam ne tam dinañ dal di seetaan ñu ngi dal di seetaan jamono bii o dinañ seetaan si kanam di dal di nuyu ñëpp daal la
jërëjëf buuba jërëjëf seeni
Yeah, coach, I'm happy to be back again. My name is Makoto Tamit Buba. I'm the new Tamit. They are currently with us as well. Tamit later on.
jërëjëf Seri thank you bu baax jërë ngeen jëf waaw tey nag moom su ma ñu ne fi tey Chama so tey moom man maay host te xam nga host moom la yombut waaye comme ni ko waxee rek foo ñu try waaw ren ora bi tey nag dañoo wax ci Women's Football Association Elective Congress bi boo xam noonu démba gis nañ ne it was bëri woon na coow on two occasions gaa ngi push election bi démb finally def nañ ko understand nga am nañ élection bi am nañ ñu taxaw ñu fa nekk waaye loolu lañ ci dugg ab sax beneen mooy dañu war the Queens suffered very very big defeat against Senegal yesterday loolu nañ say discourse and also a big issue is happening in Manjai who probably Manjai Sports Association president bi Ibrahima Samane dina ñëw join show bi mu ngi ñëw jël leeral si loolu noonu then we have the Queen of the Month drama because bu na caawana moo nekkoon indi live position pour waxtaan si parce que gis nañ ne GFCA joxe nañ Queen of the Month bi génne nominé si but am na controverse yu fa am so am na question su gars yi bu ko laajte lan la ak naka la nañu jëloon toog ci amoon a member of the association bu doon fa jëndee li amuñ ko waaye yéen tamit nañ si mën a discourse nañ wax tamit de GFF League space tamit la ñoo yaakaar mu nekk fii naan nañoo si kanam mu doon si nañu si GFF League bi bu baax ak yow tamit sax foreign based players yi nga join si update so these are the topics for today ñu jump in direct into the Elective Congress ma commencé ko si Seni yesterday dañ am this Congress Elective Congress which was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago but because of the other camp ñu ngi question the constitution understand ba finally démba dañ nañ fa gars yi withdraw ñu ngi ñoom duñ taxaw election with this bad constitution okay but the team fa nekkoon mooy team J bi ñoo retain seen position as the new association heads lu sa jàngat ak loo gis si élection bi coow bi bari woon na trop.
Yeah, coach, there's a lot really. One, the indicate the constitutional literacy is very important. We have to understand that we are administrators, so I believe it's very important that we understand these things. And I mean, okay, today we are all involved in Gambian football, but there will come a time we will no more be in place. And I mean, it definitely reminded that we have to be men and women of integrity, really, because at the end of the day, you know, um, I believe that this is just a matter of time because we are stakeholders, Morocco, and we have to understand the rules and regulations, damn it, or simply the constitution because the constitutional rule is clear, damn it. So I believe these are things we need to look at as well. Capacity building, damn it, is important because from the look of things, seems like nobody harming how these things work. But again, Morocco, like earlier, you know, um, you know we need to have such things in place, because okay, the current leadership has been there for over you know 4 years or so. So I believe Nathan, you've done your part, and then at the end of the day, we need to do the right thing because football league they play an important role, season economy vitamin. So it's important that we have these things in place. But again, for me, the most important thing is constitutional literacy. People need to understand the rules and regulations.
Definitely loolu moom dëgg la waaye xam nga seeni gars yi liñ doon kaas mooy condition bi baaxut understand nga te man yaakaar naa ko we all know the condition is not good jeef condition bi ni ko tegee dafa fiwoo di polling office so mu tax pour nit ki mun faa win dafa outside win ci jeef election any level dafa difficult so man li gars yi li ñu war a mooy we all know the condition bi baaxut understand nga but mun loo ñëw day election nga change condition it happens after so loolu mooy woon problème bi ba gars yi beneen team bi ñu mujjee withdraw so yow si withdraw yow luy sa jàngat we are they right or do you think they should have just gone then afterwards you doog a seet naka la.
Yeah, because the other team, they highlighted some of the problems that happened. One was, the electoral committee. They have to be a full house in place. That wasn't the case. And Tammy two as well. You know, Garden highlighting, the day of the voting or Congress. Shouldn't have happened. But again, more correct, we are administrators, we are stakeholders. We have to ensure that we understand these things. But again, you know, we should also be men of integrity with Chama because fine, okay, currently the current leadership is in place, but at the end of the day, there will come a time there will be no more. So these things, we have to have it at the back of our mind because at the end of the day, the players are the ones who will suffer most. So man, I believe that we have to do the right thing, and we've also seen with the regional football association as well. It's also the same thing that's happening.
Definitely jërëjëf Seydi Buba yow election bi happen na démba congress bi dem nañ the other camp bi arama ñu mujjee withdraw because the constitution bi baaxul ak yu noonu what's your take
Wow.
electoral process bi ak yu noonu yëpp.
For me, few various things for this is unfortunate, because warata nekk place bu nga xam ne xëccoo war na faa am war na faa am dama jàpp ne always congress su amee ñetta yi dafa am solo mooy di policy yan policy da ngeen bëgg a dal di adopt yan reforms da ngeen dal di bëgg a dal di adopt yan changes da ngeen bëgg a dal di adopt ñetta yu itam dafa dal di am solo trop su ñëwee di def congress because of ne tam ok foog ñu respect foog ñu appreciate incumbent bi lu ndaw lu gaay dal di def loolu def nañ wante ne ñun sum situation mooy ne den bugg a yokku den bëgg a yokku den bëgg a dara yokku suñu biir so loolu moo dee tax this congress dee dal di am so loolu moo tax ma ne la ne kon dafa war a nekk policy making dafa war a nekk reform dafa war a dal nekk lu nga xam ne tam muy changes te seen itam wax na lu nga xam ne muy constitution bi yow tam lal nga lu nga xam ne muy constitution bi like yokkute bi lan la nga xam ne def nañ ko ñu mankale ko si 4 years yi o ñu mankale ko si 8 years bi te incumbent bi dal di see nekk te ñun léegi itam gis nañ ne ñun bëgg nañ changes kon loolu war naa isi lu nga xam ne muy bunti waxtaan loolu warta dal di nekk lu nga xam ne muy xuloo wante si congress bi ak si regional congress bi particular ñu nga xam ne ñooy CRR ñooñu dinaa ñëw ba léegi si sa question bi ñooñu ñu ngi bëgg a put a stop because gis naa Sidi Kan wax na ne daal luy xew démba ak luy xew tey si biir NBR ñoom CRR duñ ko dal di nangu wante ne soo leen demee ba gis na ne yéen den dawal injustice si yéen after 24 hours lu leen nekk war a seen neew di ka see wargal mooy ñu ne yow muy candidate bi waruloo génnee statement yow you should use the courts of the land comme ni ñu ko base am na yenn teams they use the courts of the land so yenn say necessarily seen i nekk candidate seen i lose election moo ne suba si seen i génnee statement ne nii at nii soo gisee most of this congress fail because of ne den xam si yan kaabu di dem dal di bokka den xam yan kaddu la seeni génnee den xam yan kaddu la Thierno génnee si whatsapp group bi because Thierno seen na message si whatsapp group bi seeni seen na whatsapp group so da ngaa gis ne tam dafa war a daal di nekk lu nga xam ne mooy secret wante di bottom line mooy ñu ne you have to test the waters of the court because loolu tam bokk na tam si reforms yu ma la wane ne mu lu tax mu dee dal di tax congress dee dal di am because lii mu ma signal ne li signal mu ma dal di jox mu ñu ne like if they bypass all this congress to their way either ñu isi electorate committee yi nga xam ne ñoo leen dal di handpick mu ngi joxe the power ba léegi si di incumbent ahead of the next president so loolu moo tax ne after the election soo gisee ne injustice dañ la dal di jaay injustice war ngaa use the power of the courts wante ne ñun ñëpp ci ma la ko waxee bëgg nañ yokku bëgg nañ dara yokku si ñun te ñun gis nañ ne in all categories si football in Gambia si all categories baax na dinañ dee gis Abdallah that refali dinañ dee gis Mohamed Sané refali bu ndaw boobu dinañ dee dal di celebrate gaay dinañ dee gis sum jigéen ñi refali si dinañ dee celebrate dinañ wante apart from the celebration apart from the achievement yaa ngi understand yi nga xam ne loolu sax refali ñoo ko dal di daykat yi amee nii ñun ñan achievement den dalee def because tey ñun ñëpp dañoo dal di bëgg ñu ne Thierno de dem na England for 6 month courses or Thierno dem na Spain for 6 years training course so content yooyu that celebration ne nekk di war a dal di celebrate wante soo ko bàyyee xel like in all aspect da ngaa gis ne failure mu ngi dal di am te failure mu si dal di amee congress bi moo war a dal di am pour ñu mën a dal di elect ñi nga xam ne gis na ne ñii ñëw neen at fresh ideas ñëw neen at fresh solutions fekkante tam nekkul fa seen ay post xaw ma na naa sa cause bi so wante daal is unfortunate wante ne tam kam boobu tam nonetheless lu gaay wax ku nekk seen backing bi is only the court because tam sooy dugg si election tam da nga war a pareel tam su fekkee yow dem nga benn nangu ñu def voting bi or wokkuloo out because tam dafa yomb nga dal di génna you have to fight for the last dot wante loolu tam da nga koo boole sutura da nga koo boole yar da nga koo boole teegin nga xam ne tam nga xam nooy doxalee sa cards because yaa ngay diiral ñi nga xam ne di ay incumbent ñi nga xam ne ñooñu di ready to sacrifice everything that day pour ñoom ñu toog fa wante yow su ma ne yow yaa ngi ñëwal bi de fresh ideas fresh reforms ñi nga xam ne loolu moo war a yóbbu football yi Gambie kanam kon yow tam war ngaa nekk a person of sound mind war ngaa nekk a person nga xam ne tam sa every mood wante du ma dee appreciate election su jotee rek seeni benn statement waaw lii at nii because loolu that's gone wante soo use it to the courts nga use court bi fu court mun a dal di em rek nga em fa because of ne like reform mun dal di bëgg a mu ñu ne ñu dal di gis Gambian football dal di dem si kanam comme ni politics like if ne yaa doon gisee camp bi sa camp bi la wéerut wante jëlal si gars yi ñu nga xam ne ñooñu mun laa yóbbu place mun laa yóbbu bii mun laa yóbbu sii nga isi leen sa boor nga liggéeyaa gaay loolu moo di yóbbu tam dika
jërëjëf Buba kaddu rafet na trop ci garal daal man daal li ma si mën a war a mooy suñu constitution si yëpp dañ ko war a xoolaat ni nga ko day tiggee di baax dafay féewoo incumbent bi always ba si suñu national constitution bi sax di same thing anyway yàgg nañ foofu lu suñu amoon lu ñu gënal seeni soo nekkoon fi mu gën ñoo expérience gis nañ ne jëy nekk nañ office delluwaat na man nag personnellement man li ma doon wax mu yàgg naa ko mooy ne man I don't think jigéen ñi football jigéen ñi nii dañ élection mun na ma foog ne li ma foog ne mooy dañu war a ñëw together ñu foog strong team ñu yóbbu loolu parce que tey team yi jëy bi am na lu mu am benn team yi amuñ ko benn team lañu am team yi amuñ ko te ñoom yëpp dañ am wan important goal mooy ne di female football mu dem kanam so lu sax ñoom waroo ñoom la toog seen biir waxtaan jël keere sa mbokk understand waaye loolu moom xam naa ne gars yi dañ ci bàyyi xel gën see taxaw ñi ñëw si jigéen ñi démb first game bi win nañ against Sierra Leone 3-0 waaye démb dañu dóor heavily Sénégal ñu dóor 6-0 what is your take Buba ma commencé ko si yow si jigéen démb seen game against Sénégal
waaw unfortunately dama génnoon nag mënu mën a seetaan match yi because mën na ne match bu nga xam ne match bu am interest la woon si man wate tam maa ngi ñaan Sénégal yi like boy suñu gars yi dóor na du gars yi gars yi toog 2-0 boy gars yi play ball bi rek moo dee génn boy duñu bëgg a dóor ñu bay ñu mere boy yooyu at least 2-0 boy at least di nga am 2 points di nga am 3 points di nga am 2 goals you know it's unfortunate you know because of the time like so bëggee egg final you have to beat the best mais par exemple this score line reflected ne ñun ñu ngi match Sénégal in any time soon ok Sénégal ñoom seen boppa am na seen place yu nga xam ne ñëwun doon because it's a waafu it's a local tournament maybe most of the times then jël home best players yi ba pare the league is powerful gisoon ne ne ñoom in their second year first year bi jëluntoon waafu Champions League Cup bi second year bi gars yi te loolu moo la wone ne like it's a strong dominance fi ne local best players la gars yi is seen back to back waafu yi nii so the level xam ne ne ok ñun miss neen some players miss neen some foreign based players yu yaakaar ñu nga xam ne ñu ngi play Europe may Fatou Kanté ak Penda Ba at Olobwaro although ne Olobwaro at Penda Ba gis nañoo ñëw wante si Fatou Kanté wante si grand bi daal there is a gap there is a huge gap because of the time ñun suñ physique bi tam ñun physique buñ daal di am boobu tam nekku di match with physique that is in West Africa especially Liberia Sierra Leone Guinée Mali you know ñu ngi day ni yow cee you know because ku dee jël man of the match kooku mu ngi day ni yow ñu ngi am place yu nga xam ne dañ tuuti so ñooñu suñ ko demee pour dalantee gars dafa am métti wante ne put ñu in a very funny situation because tam foog naa Guinée tam den wii noonu so da ngaa gis ne léegi nii am na team si bari yu nga xam ne wii na so su diggantee Mali Mali ñëwul wii noonu so su diggantee Mali tam war naa nekk a very top match te guma ne tam waroon nañ fa dal di éega wante ne it shows you the gap the gap of women football between ñaari dëkk yi you know so I mean lii moom daal like they brush our confidence you know if we were having confidence high here suñ confidence baa ngi low or mathematically sax mënoo ñëw dana la tese gars yi last game bi then we have nothing to play you know wante it's a difficult team mais par exemple foog naa dëkk yi yëpp ñu ngi look forward to gars yi pour play a gars yi because niñ si mën a dal di jël dara wante ne it's a very big blow mais par exemple put nañu in a difficult situation because ni ma la ko waxee rek man moom I'm a fan of the national team you know man I'm a fan of the national team in fact bu ma gisee résultat bi sax moo ñu ko wax sama ne ok ñii dina leen dem ci final because maa ngi yaakaar am that confidence ne ñun dañ mën a dal di play final wante ne it's a very very disturbing result 6-0 dafa bëri trop next time dal maa ngi ñaan gars yi daal at least 2-0 baax na at ñu play ball you know loolu moom du yaxaat diggante bi cee
jërëjëf Buba thank you so much Seni
yeah coach yeah heavy defeat really heavy defeat but again li daf ñu remind that Senegal is doing what we are not doing, you understand? So I believe that there is no shame in going there, trying to learn the things they're doing. Because even in Africa, when they get them to the women's AFCON, you don't indicate they are doing things we are not doing. So I mean, because solely see Gori, Jigeni, whenever we have the opportunity, to meet them, then you need to do. So there are things we need to learn from them.
Okay, thank you so much. I know it was a heavy defeat. Man, dama flow scores, but like I was like, wow. Senegal learn na hari. But then again, you learn. But man, wala na sa team bi, they are doing well. The only problem when they am la moy sun daje big nations dañuy def sonal. Senegal, Cameroon, Nigeria, understand? Dëkk yi mag yooyu ñu def sonal. Ma from dëkk yi duñu am même problème national team bi. But kon ko boobee physique bi mooy problème bi. Physicality is our main problem. Ñee lañu gën a taxaw ko ñu doole. Wow. You know, see, another important one. I was going to have Pa Ibrahim Sware here, Sawane, head of Manjai. But it seems Montavit very soon dina join. You have this big issue at Manjai, very big issue. The people of Manjai, they know take over Pagi because they are the rightful owners. Centrally Mamla, Nyoko Mom. So tañi nga ñom dañoo jëlaat community bi ñoo jëlaat park bi il faut que ñu sports community boobu ne ñoom ñoo ko gobal ñooy teg everything so mooy indi coow bi léegi yéen buba seen du ñaa gis ngeen ko si TikTok bi fu nekk gam fu tamit dugal nañ ko what is your take bu Seni started from Seni
Yeah, I believe negotiations will have to happen because I mean the community as a whole, they having it in mind that which you know has to be for them for But again, negotiations have to be in place. Then talk a guy, then discuss because I believe DAP is all about that. And damit I've also seen that so you can be the there was a guy from the Manjai sports community, them not to the radio or TV, had a discussion about it. So, you have to discuss with them, and then whole ways of handling this issue because, or else, the players will suffer most, So, yeah.
buba
waaw ma ne gis naa tuuti si Gamfoot lu gay dal di dugal the pictures yow xam na mën nga ma conformal picture bi na is the current state of the park léegi nii ne mbalik ndax naka la picture bi naka la scene bi tam mel foofu because yenn saa yi natal yu gay di dal di dugal mën nga ma just clarify loolu rek naka la park bi mel si boppam léegi nii
buba gis nga gars yi Manjai dañu koy deviate affaire si understand nga what they wanted waaye anyway passé na si ñëwee dina ko ama dugal ko dina gën a leeral Mr. Sawane welcome
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
waaleykum salaam gisuñu la de
Suma kanam mu ñaaw bi.
waaw wóoluñ ko bu xees bu ñaaw bi waaw
Let me see. Okay. Waaye maa gis léegi.
waaw ñu ngi laa gis waaw nakam
Assalamu alaikum. Buba. Naka la tudd sax. Seni.
Wow.
Strategist bi big analyst. Naka ngeen def?
Yeah, like.
Well, for waste time, Momay Pa Sawane, Pa Ibrahim Sawane, is the president of Manjai Sports Association. Pa, before Bua Sen Renewal, gis nañ issue bu nekk happen Manjai with the people of Manjai claiming ownership of the park. Understand that there are so many things that happen. You know, in the press conference, what is the problem, and what can you tell the people watching about Manjai, the issue going on in Manjai?
Well, yes, Cherno. I think it's better to put a context around it. I guess I understand the experience the whole issue. Mun committee bu Iceland, we came in almost 3 years ago. Ñu ngi ni sun final month season bi len nekk pour sun temps bi jeex. Then you them for elective Congress to elect a new executive or maintain the present one. So ñun bala ñoo into office, when we were having the handing over with the previous committee, we got the information that there was this claim from the community of Manjai. They want to take ownership of the facility. So, why is that the case? Mom Pagby. So, okay, or is there any documentation to that respect? But we are not provided any documentation, any documentation. And the previous committee made it very clear to us that they don't entertain that because as a zone, they are representing a wider community, so not in the individual community. So, okay, you will wait and hear from the people of Manjai on that. So, that being the case, Bunjele office, among any formal approach from the people of Manjai. Then we started planning to implement some projects, and one of it was to make sure that the state ñëpp gis neen Manjai naka la meloon lifin bi naka la tudda, especially the artificial turf mooy the biri field bi it was so dilapidated benn activity mënut a jël. In fact, it was mostly used for musical shows and low regling couldn't use, but you cannot even play there because of the state of the film. So it was abandoned, and then the field also, they had some works which were supposed to be done by the Federation, GFF, more on take place, and it did not take place. And Daniel and fancy wall, everything, the dressing rooms were all undone. The offices which were in the premises, it was all in a dilapidated state. They were not used. So this is how we took over the committee when you intervene. So soon first, one of our first things in Moine, then I'm on a lot of proposal for the development of the Biri feed. So when land receive as a committee, we cannot do anything without KMC because KMCs are the owners of the premises. So we have to receive everything and then send those proposals to KMC for an agreement with any of those business people. You have an interest to develop the turf or renovate. So which we forwarded to KMC immediately because we wanted to make sure that we are as oh sorry okay, is it better now? It's not small background is affecting you. I don't know whether it's better now.
Wow, continue.
Okay. So going forward to KMC, the proposals jota then that was the first time this Manjai issue started coming up. Because in KMC, you have the ward councillor of Manjai, Lamin Jame, Fofulaneka. So when she got to know that this new committee, pare pour renovate the artificial turf, the Biribiri grounds, then he did not like that. So him and the people of Manjai covertly then started on they did everything possible to make sure that did not succeed. Okay, but we did not have enough information at the time. This thing was not proceeding. Why you don't follow up all the time with KMC what was the status of the proposals you submit for the office of the CEO, So for the past 2-3 years, every time you have about that, it is not. So in the past year, after big traction, and what actually happened was that they told us that we have to retender for those interested in the renovation because guy Manjai them for them a plan to develop the park. So we said, well, it's open. If at all they have a proposal, them buga develop park. Nakoga yobu KMC. If KMC approve it, we don't have any problem with that. We can work with anyone. So KMC advised that we should retender it, and then after, when we receive the proposals, you can send that back, and that's exactly what we did. We retender it, which was posted on our social and our websites, through tender process and given a period we have a mom la mo elapse tam we receive only a single proposal, and then we proceeded to submit that to KMC. Why then that is the covered time we live in Manjai council of Bidon Def now become open. You become openly an open aggression, see, against anything the the committee is doing to make sure that project doesn't succeed. So it came to light that they were just using delaying tactics. They want people who want to sponsor the Biri field, and it was never the truth, because they were given the opportunity to submit, they did not. So that is the background of all these politics in Bungay Disney of recent. Them na ñëw is about this park bi nakala proposal si now if you look at the other side of the thing, Manjai kuba hamon Manjai few years back, you everybody admired the Biri field. Everybody know that you don't need to be an accountant to know that place was generating a lot of revenue, because of its strategic location at time bobu. You don't have a lot of tough which were rented in the GVA. Legi mun nga dem almost every other corner nga am living tough bo xamne ñu ko rent, but that wasn't the case before. And so Manjai was really the hot cake, and it was the go-to place for everybody, so it was generating a lot of income, but this was not pumped back into the management of the tough there was no money available to renovate and the same thing with the GFF field project who the other committee, when GFF have issues of with that particular project, nothing can proceed. So we came into office with these challenges, and we had a very good cooperation with the Federation GFF to be able to restart that GFF project to make sure that we can be able to play our Noeta, because we were in our first season then play only one cup because of the state of the pitch. Mununyo plays both tournaments because of the state of the pitch and also because of money, because in the coffers was already dry. Thanks to the intervention of QCell, Mota Numunona play Noetan. We went to QCell, talk to Mr. Jah Mohammed, who, I'm not reservation because some of the reservation he has was that Manja is always in conflict. The initial sponsors with Bayamale and others, with the Godfather God Foundation, to make sure that they make it, that facility we have in Gambia, yeah, this is the deal. Why, with all the plans they have, they always face problems with the community. So some contract with QCL was out of the case, and he was not willing to sign a new contract with the sports community, even though QCL was Manjai was the first zone one and a QCL full sponsor, but they were not willing to sign another one. Then we had a long talk with Mr. Jah and promised him that we will make sure that we address all these challenges, and to make sure that as a zone, all these fighting problems before they do amat, so that it will not damage the QCell brand, So we thought, okay, let's give it a try and see, because Misaja personally Hamnama, he knows, from work. We have worked for a while, and he had that confidence that we can be able to do that. So that being the case, he'd even double whatever sponsorship when you run your job. They've got double. That was the first time we had that big sponsorship, and we were able to, thanks to QCell and Mr. Mohamed Jah, Numuna Noetan in Manjai. So nonula for them all this while, be recently, buñ defare nakala fence be with GFF support, and then we were able to also do the dressing room. Then the last phase of the GFF project, more pour ñu defar field be, but that the project be dafa dem sometime mustall, sometime with them mustall, it has that thing, with GFF. So most sometimes what will even happen is that you pre-finance the activities, and then we will be refunded by the federation, so just to make sure that we play football, our grand some activities or some development. Okay, so in between Lundau, we were trying to get some funds to raise something, and then we invested into some VIP to make it a sit-in, so that it will generate us some revenue. And come nunco forecast last year, Manjai is one of those zones where a lot of the spectators who knew, they think that they have a birthright to do a park without paying, because so you feel judo, you feel they don't want to pay. That's the fact. So I'm a crowded, well-attended game. Why, if you look at the Incumbent, after everything, you realize that you are not even making though they meet expenditures in some of the games, so that has been a challenge. But thanks to some investment, some VIP, that was able to minimize some of those losses. We are able to pay the security, Red Cross, and ticketing and all those other expenses. You have more empty see my David, So book problem in Manjai bi they wrote to us, we should come and meet them about ownership of the facility, and we declined that. We told them no, we cannot discuss about the ownership of the facility with you. The facility belongs to KMC. If you want to discuss anything about ownership, we think KMC is the right body for them discuss lulu. And they wrote again, and we reminded them that the same thing was from first letter. This is the second, the same message. The KMC is the owner of the facility, so it's not Manjai Sports Committee more facility. Okay, so we are just for the daily management and administration of that facility, but we don't take ownership of that. Okay, so finally, they heeded to what we said and went to KMC. We all went to KMC. We put the things on the ground, and KMC started engaging both parties and to discuss. So in between, they came as a group. I think it was around December. I can't remember the dates exactly, when they were about to have some tournament. Ñu use loolu as a pretext, ñu ñëw si park bi, vandalize park bi, in the name of the ñoom dañ ñëw jël facility bi. And when they did that, we recorded everything. We informed the police, and also make an incident report. We shared with KMC. with the game sports, National Sports Council, and everybody put everybody on notice about what was happening in Manjai. So KMC continue arbitrating to make sure that affair bi bu escalate. So ñu am that back and forth with KMC until léegi we were asked to have a memorandum of understanding between KMC and Manjai Sports Committee, and the Manjai community will be a witness to that MOU. So that MOU, they were not happy with the content of the MOU.
Bala ma interject la foofu tuuti.
Yeah.
Ok, nga ne da ngeen ba akas MOU bi déggoon naa ne da ngeen amoon da ngeen commencé woon liggéey paak bi, so lan moo toll liggéey bi si tawoon.
Yeah, paak bi buñ dooree liggéey bi we have to stop it because bu gaay attaquoon ñëwoon vandalize paak bi, KMC ñooñu waxoon ne ñu stop. We have to stop the work until they resolve the issue. So we have to stop that. Why bu nawetaan bi jege it's almost time for qualifiers. We pleaded to KMC ne lii whether ñun la or Manjai la, the field has to be in a good condition pour youth si mun ko use. So, and it has their works lane start on, and we cannot continue with the work because GFF ñooñu war a jox xaalis pour ñoo lifin ko. Why the federation also, because they know what is happening, knowing that there is a conflict in Manjai, they don't want to pump their money into somewhere where there is conflict, because ñoom seen interest more in a su Manjai baaxee, they will be able to play some of their games there. So that being the case, they don't officially communicate this, but it makes sense. They did not just want to put their money where there is conflict. So we pleaded to KMC to do that, to lift that embargo on us so that we can start work, which they did. So Bugay Defe Lulu, Siling sign a contract for def work, and then we were able to redo the borehole. Some borehole was down, and then you deferred borehole, and then sign a contract for the field works. So yeah, so Silen door liggéey bi on the field. So this MOU bi bu ñëwee moo ekatiwaat affaire bi bu the Manjai people community, what they want when they could not have that is when they started to come again and say that okay, dañoo ñëw even. So we had all the information they had. We alerted the security, the task force, and then the anti-crime, and also we reported the case to Manjai police, also inform KM Sports, and you inform KMC about what is going on. So we always make sure whatever is transpiring, we inform all the necessary stakeholders pour ñu xam ne lii moo nekk di dem. I gis ne everybody will have the right picture. So seen last ñëw bi nii on Friday bu gaay di ñëw, the plan was to come and seize the park and the facility, lock and everything. So when they came and then they see the security, and they have to change tactics, and they make it a so-called press conference. They did there, the game on the press conference, you start the voice out their concerns. Now, during the press conference, Bugad on that, you will realize that some of them actually invaded the other offices of the park, which were under renovation, and then you start provoked. They were actually provoking our members because London Def Moy did them shoot, take videos of places, uttering all kinds of things, and then posting it live on Facebook and TikTok and whatever, but we as a committee, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. We allow everything to go to be as it, and then we have our incident report, which we will share with our stakeholders after our meeting, internal meeting. We met as a committee. We discussed the incident, and then we will work with KMC to make sure that everything is finalized. So we are hoping by Tuesday to get this MOU with KMC signed after validation with KM Sports, of course. So the name MOU inside. So basically, these are this. I think I wanted to summarize it, but it's a long one. So if you have any questions, then I can clarify them. Thank you.
jërëjëf Pape jërëjëf si leeral bi man nag arabu wa boobu mu ngi daw de man li ma bëgg a wax Pape li ma wax mooy léegi according to li nga wax nii suma understanding léegi ñoom léegi from claiming ownership léegi gis nañ ne boobu demul because that you guys have a KMC léegi dañ ñëw bëgg a toog di table around di wane facility yu baaxu things like that su ma la déggee yow loolu nga min sa wax mu yëpp
I guess the first living case bu guy indi on mooy ne is a problem of the Manjai Momon facility. And when you ask anybody who is claiming the Nyomon facility, you let them provide any documentation. Is it any documentation? All they will be saying, yeah, I am a mama jo $1,000. Suma mam mo fi don li, suma mam mo fi don li, ñoo fi def li. But nobody can provide any documentation to show that they own that facility. And like I said, that facility is shared by the communities of Kotu, Kolole, Sanchaba, Bakote, Tipakunda, Sukuta. We have teams from Bijilo, we have teams from Brusubi, we have teams from Wellingara, all playing in the Manjai zone. But at the end of the day, all these teams are made of Nyan. They are Gambian youths. So I still someone luma munta understand belegi moy lu xamne ne ñepp ñoo fay njëriñoo ñu fa njëriñoo yépp 99% of them are Gambians. Why do you want to have a problem with Gambian youth coming together? Full sports stuff you wanna bring together. It should not divide us, and like throughout the problem be man, I have no problem with people of Manjai. Some of my best friends are from Manjai, and I have no problem with anybody from Manjai, and I don't believe any of my committee members have any issues with Manjai. And Manjai people, teams, stakeholders, you elect the teams you elect. am na membership bi jógee neen Manjai am na ñu xam ne jógee neen Kootu Kololi and Bakote and the environment, so we have no personal problem between any of us, no, it's nothing personal, but we have to serve the community good. The community good is more we come together. Nekut ne we become individualists. No, this is something which is there to serve everybody. So everybody should be happy that the youths of these different communities are together, doing something in unison. I think Lulu should be celebrated than somebody coming there pour try divide affair. That is not good enough. Hello, Chair of Mayo Amlo Network issue.
Bugo.
Hello, Che.
Papa mo de.
Wow, okay. Mo for when send them for more da.
One the rogula. Mo Wi-Fi bill. Light
Yeah.
mo. Light mo on.
No. We'll just my guy into the picture, man.
Okay. Wow. Tagay na. Legi pa. Legi
Yeah.
way forward. What is the way forward between the before one of what is the reaction of the stakeholders of Manjai? Because at the end of the day, Manjai Sports Committee, talking for Bopa, committee will for elect and new elect stakeholders. So what is their reaction towards all these things happening in Manjai?
Yeah, when we speak as a committee, we speak on behalf of the stakeholders. So we have very good support from our stakeholders throughout this issue. So whatever is happening, we are informing them, and they are right behind us. I'm sure they just soon leadership be, because we are the leaders among the stakeholders, because all of us are stakeholders. The talk on behalf of the zone. So whatever we are doing is not independent of of the stakeholders. So we are all together, and I'm so Nyomdam in our stakeholders groups. Yeah, they express their feelings there, and some of them will call you also to tell you exactly how they feel about the whole incident. You know. So yeah, they are rightly behind us, giving us the courage, and then to make sure that we are able to ably represent the zone.
Okay. So by law, this is the Manjai Sports Committee. They are working with KM Sports, under the National Sports Council. What is KM Sports doing about the issue also?
Yeah, KM Sports have been put in this picture throughout. They know what is happening, and they've also been offering their support. All the zones in KM, you offer some support behind Manjai. For them, for KM, it's not a problem of Manjai. Is an issue which affect the whole KM. So they are making sure that these sports zones are giving the correct support that is needed. So all our meetings, KM Sports also normally they will be represented there.
Okay. What is the way forward? People are asking, Namanja Abinam Navetan, Nam qualify rounds, da lan la pa. Like, what is the way forward?
Yeah, Nawetan certainly didn't am Nawetan inshallah. And for the qualifiers, already open registrations for start qualifiers. It didn't play qualifiers in various fields across the community. In common place Susum Parkway, because Parkway is under maintenance right now. They need some time to gis the impact of the works that is going in there. So the period of the qualifiers mom la ñu allow lifin bi work bi pour mu follow tuuti nga gis ne by the time we are in for the Super Cup, the ground will be ready pour start the Nawetan. Nawetan is going to take place in Manjai, inshallah.
Another will take place. So, Pa, you Lisa, final words before mobile under them.
Well, it's unfortunate that with all the challenges ñu dum feka pour ñoo into office, and then nga am nit yu xamne you started making some development boo xam ne dafa benefit the whole community, nga am a few people ñu bugga ñëw derail la, and they have not been doing this for like short period. Why throughout short term, you have people who have they don't want to see anything neuro development. And then I must also say there are people who are supporting them, and because Nyolen de Jokore, they go to certain platforms, they will spew messages you have, they themselves know that it's not true, and they will be throwing accusations here and there. But when you ask them to provide evidence, they will never provide evidence because there is no evidence of such. For example, I know this is a different platform. If at all I was in the same platform like Gamfood, then I'll say because what they are doing is bad. They have been doing it. They don't want anybody to tell them the truth. They don't come and ask you what is happening. They will just go and put people's pictures, put intimidate them. So they netali pasa wane on Facebook. Niti di saga pa or di nganya pa lolu mwendam. It's sad that we have people who are supposedly then nega for the support sports, but these are the people who discourage people from participating in sports. Man kumaham, I have get a lot from sports, alhamdulillah. So whatever I'm doing is just giving back. I am not going to I'm not receiving anything butut Manjai suma halis mo fade duga waye nekune Manjai halis am mo de duga suma post. And I think this goes for all of my committee members. So ñëwé fofu ngeen di yu di bugat tilimal nit yi seen background, it's sad. And then you have people who are supposed to be journalists, who are supposed to verify those stories, why ñoom ñoo de encourage people yi pour ñuy ñëw the kind of bullying you try to silence people. Unfortunately, for people like me, I've worked for myself. My work speaks for itself. Manfuma mundi de neka. Whatever work I'm leaving, the legacy I've left behind, it speaks for itself. Whether it's in the private sector, whether it's in government, whether it's in student leadership, my legacy speaks for itself. So it will not take your clickbaits pour erase all that I am in my community. No. Why is that is the case with if you think different, you are opposition, you are this, you are that, Nyubuga Laja has a community. But that's the kind of thing we are having. But directly speaking to the people of Manjai, I just want to tell you, it's the same Passawane Wallingham, you grow up in Bahote, and the Manjai, they have almost all my things. Your same friend, I've played even in Manjai, playing LG Fofu, win Cup Fofu, it's the same Passawane. I have nothing against anybody from Manjai. Like I said, I have very good friends, some who I consider as family. With this problem, dara suma digante ñom. Even this councillor Lamin Jame is a brother to me. He's a brother to me. Even though I don't agree with what he's doing, I respect him. But I don't agree with what he's doing. I think we should see what is good for the whole community, the country, than new buga individualistic. So let's come together. Pagbi, Team Manjai Yankwa, as a committee, ñun dañoo génna. Man mom, I know this is my last time. So nawetaan bi jeexee, I'm not going in for any elective position. I'm stepping down. Loolu wax naa ko bu yaaga. So gisee ma nekk foofu ba tey. I just wanted to complete the projects you start. I think Ian Hamgen, I have tried to resign more than 2-3 times now, but you all wanted me to complete the work we have started, and that's what I'm trying to do, to complete so that somebody who comes in after me will be able to have a foundation which he will build upon. So we can all work together and make Manjai better than what it is today, and it has all the potential to be better than what it is. Definitely, we should do better as a people to work together than we start undermining each other. And especially those people who are the last mile, and they are with you, while these are the same people who are in the background. They are doing things you have undermine. Man, that is the saddest part of all of the things. There are people who have put a lot of trust in, but I've seen the other side of them, which Luma Genalon, let me not know that. I know you can never know the human being 100%. Why? It saddens me. It saddens me. Why Louis Yala Dole, right? That's it. That's it. I hope that we will be able to maintain the peace and all the aggrieved parties. Let's just follow due process. You make sure that so aggrieved. Rely on my nga def lolu wax bi jeex tak. Yes sir.
jërëjëf Pa si time bi jërëjëf Pa si time bi ñu jox apprécié nañ sa time te li nga wax fii leer na yaakaar naa ne ñu ko déglu tamit nañ si war a mun a jàngat bu bëree bëri xam nga di dem di jëm aussi di waxale suñ naataango ñi nga xam ne ñoom tamit ñu ngi am plateformes understand du ma autour boo bëri nañ si internet bi understand if you want to help sports understand let's be positive and let's be objective man loolu laa dee always xam nga because man dama ko ne ñun gërëm foofu ba ñun luñ fi tax a jóg mooy to improve and help Gambian football mooy suñ priority number one nothing more nothing less because ñun lu ñoo sacrifice di bàyyi suñu jaay suñu soxla kenn fay ñu ko passion rek moo ñu ko def loo man duma journalist Cham du journalist both me and Cham we are all technicians and we are also coaches understand we are once players we know how football works te gis ne we need to improve the solution football fii ñu mel si dëkk loolu moo tax ñu so loolu moo tax be positive be objective understand try to add value try to be reasonable understand try to be positive understand dan am ko ñu koy rek luñ la jox rek nga dugal binda do def research xam nga there's nothing wrong with that okay Manjai li mu si go through okay ñi camp bi li leen wax li leen ma jox let me ask the other camp xam nga loolu mooy nit neutral as journalist as media analyst that's how you should operate understand so Pa di la jaajëfal once again xam nga kontaan nañ si teewaay xam nga di la ñaanal rek li nga suma yàlla na ko àggale jàmm xam nga problème bi yàlla def ndawu seera parce que man si sa wax bi dafa mel ne pas sawane ak teamam bi bu di Manjai Sports Committee Association bi they have no problem with the people of Manjai understand so maybe people of Manjai they ñoom ñoo misunderstand what is happening and how things should be understand waaye di la ñaanal jàmm once again jërëjëf Pa
jërëjëf
waaw suma gaay ñoom tamit dañ daw Pa xam naa ne fi nekk nii moom programme bi yaakaar naa ne suma gaay ñoom seeni ak bu xam naa ne engage nekk ak yéen ñu war a discuss about the coach of the month and also national league ak home based players yi national league space bu koy def space ne ko fi tey but ñu jëlante daje ba ne fi incha allah fekk ñëpp ñëw te amoo ñëw xam naa nañ si nañ ko laal bu soobee yàlla dañ jaajëfal di leen jërë ngeen jëf once again jërë ngeen jëf